February 28, 2026. In a single, coordinated strike, the world as we know it changed forever. In a gamble that history will either call a masterstroke or a fatal error, the United States and Israel launched a massive aerial campaign against Iran. The opening hours were cataclysmic. The supreme leader is dead, the Iranian Navy is at the bottom of the ocean, and the Middle East is on fire. But as the smoke clears, a terrifying reality is setting in. This wasn't just a strike. It was the first day of a new world war. To understand the scale of this conflict, you have to look at the numbers. On day one alone, the U.S. dropped nearly double the munitions used during the 2003 Shock and Awe campaign in Iraq. Every major IRGC headquarters has been targeted. Every leadership compound has been turned to rubble. The objective is clear: induce a total regime collapse. But the Iranian regime isn't going down without taking the rest of the world with them. Iran's retaliation has been swift and desperate. They have turned their fury not just on the U.S. and Israel, but on every neighbor they can reach. Hundreds of ballistic missiles and thousands of kamikaze drones have rained down on the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Kuwait. In Dubai, the illusion of an Oasis of Stability has vanished. Famous luxury hotels are in flames, and for the first time in history, critical AI infrastructure has been hit, with multiple Amazon data centers in the Gulf knocked offline. But the most dangerous weapon in Iran's arsenal isn't a missile, it's a geography. The Strait of Hormuz is now effectively closed. Iran has littered the world's most critical maritime choke point with thousands of naval mines. 1/3 of the world's seaborne oil and 1/5 of its liquefied natural gas are now trapped. Crude oil prices have already spiked by 14%. And natural gas in Europe has jumped 70%. If this blockade holds for a month, the global economy won't just slow down, it will break. The crisis is also unfolding in the skies. The Middle East is a global transit hub, linking Europe, Asia, and Africa. With airspaces closed from Tehran to the Mediterranean, over 18,000 flights have been canceled. Global supply chains are snarling, and the superconnector model of airlines like Emirates and Qatar Airways is facing an existential threat. As desperate as things are now, there is a nuclear option for conventional warfare. Water. The Gulf states rely on desalination plants for up to 90% of their drinking water. If Iran chooses to target these facilities, cities like Riyadh and Dubai would have to be completely evacuated within a week. It would be the end of civilization in the desert. Now, the U.S. is looking at the next rung on the escalation ladder, Karg Island. This tiny patch of land handles 90% of Iran's oil exports. Seizing it would bankrupt the regime, but it would require American boots on the ground and could push Iran to finally strike those vital water plants. We are at a point where there are no good options left. If the U.S. stops now, it leaves a wounded and vengeful Iran standing. If it continues, it risks the complete balkanization of a country of 92 million people, creating a failed state so large it would dwarf the chaos of the Syrian and Iraqi wars combined. The Mad King scenario is no longer a theory. We are living through a week where decades of history are happening in days. Whether this leads to a new regional order or a global economic collapse depends on what happens in the next 24 hours. The world is watching, and the stakes have never been higher.